So, they just released the brand new trailer teaser for the new upcoming Star Wars Episode 9, and I don't know about y'all, but I am really excited. I actually watched this already, but I gotta share my thoughts and reactions with you, so we're gonna watch it again all together. Okay, being the huge Star Wars nut that I am super, super excited about this upcoming Star Wars movie. And I know it's been getting a huge amount of notice. In fact, the trailer on the official Star Wars site already has 16 million views. I actually recorded a reaction to it yesterday when it first came out and had my microphone on wrong, so all I got was the static and everything, and I was just like, Urgh. So that's why you didn't see that actually earlier today, but I got some time to watch it again. So this isn't my first time watching it, but there's still all sorts of thoughts and everything going through. Good to see all of you guys signing in here. I can see a bunch of you chiming in. In fact, I really ought to get my chat window over here where I can see all of you. But we're going to watch this thing together. I'm going to put it up right there for you so that we can all see it at the same time. And I'll pause it a few times here and there and talk about it. And I'm sure I'm going to see some new things. And it's going to be fun. This is just really, really exciting for me. So, I mean, you have to remember, you're talking to somebody who saw the original Star Wars in 1977 at a drive-in movie theater with my parents. So I have been Star Wars fan since it originally came out. So, you guys ready to start watching this thing here? Whoop! Hey, it helps if I get the right thing. Let's try. What is it doing? Ah, don't you love live stuff? There we go. That's what I want. So, here comes the trailer. With the heavy breathing. Which I gotta admit is kind of creepy to start with. Hi, Ray! Back on the desert planet again. Why are they always on the desert planet? You'd think civilization would go someplace with more to it.
We've passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now.
Now, the first time I watched this, I was like, who on earth is that talking? It took me a minute to realize this is Luke Skywalker. So, okay, that's Luke's back. Sort of, kind of. He's in there. Oh, yeah, you didn't... Yes, Joseph, I know, this is kind of a surprise. So, it was like, I gotta do this with everybody. Okay, now I have to admit, this part has me really psyched. Every generation has a legend. Ooh. Okay, my mind starts going snarky. Who is your legend of your generation? Okay, sorry. Of course, we're talking Anakin Skywalker, then Luke Skywalker, and then Rey. So. And she's gonna get ready to race. Okay, now, I just have to say a few things here. First off, I love the look of this TIE Fighter. That is, like, the coolest thing, the way it's streamlined and everything. And then she's jumping over it. So, here's where my thought goes. Is she jumping on top of it to pull the pilot out and switch out? Or is she just going to kill him this way? Or what is going on? Are they trying to chase her down? And if so, why didn't they shoot at her when she was on the ground? Okay, so somebody's saying it's Kylo Ren. Is it, though? Or, I mean, it's a cool TIE Fighter similar to the one he flies, but a lot of questions going on with this. I don't know what planet this is. I do wonder if that planet, and my mind's going blank, is the one that's going to show up at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It might be that one. And then you've got Kylo here, and he's attacking these other guys. And who are these people? Who's he attacking? What's going on? Now, we know he's not necessarily being a nice guy because you can see the stormtroopers. Okay, and I'm going to come back just a smidge here. New Kylo Ren helmet. Yes, another one he can break. All right. But with the red marks, it's like, okay, he's really going the way of Darth Vader again, isn't he? Woo! So, you know, definitely a lot of questions about what's going on, what's here. You get to see them together. Oh. Okay. So, again, new stuff. Come back just a smidge. We got another new droid, which you can see him actually kind of... See if I can get my hand. He's right there, right next to BB-8. That's a new droid. They actually had him rolling around at the big Star Wars thing. I had no idea what a little funnel on a wheel would do. He almost looks like a badminton birdie, doesn't he? You can just sit there and pop him. I don't know. But then we've got back onto the Millennium Falcon and the return of Lando Calrissian. And I know there's a lot of people that are kind of going, oh, they're bringing more old people back. But I totally understand why. And, hey, Lando's back in his old seat. Although, well, maybe he's actually on the opposite seat. But he's got his Millennium Falcon back, or at least he's flying it again. And I don't know. I'm excited to see Lando back. I actually like what they have been doing with the old characters and bringing them back in because they would still be involved. Comes to an end. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, C-3PO holding onto a mast. No, it's not a cannon. I did think that at first. It's not a cannon. Batu, thank you for reminding what the planet name was there. Okay, now this, I have to admit, mixed feelings, because we know Carrie Fisher was gone, and we know that she wasn't able to be here for it, but they took old footage and brought her back in, and it's like, okay, good, so they found a way to wrap up her story, but it's her, but it's not her, and so that's going to be interesting to see how they do that.
We'll always be with you.
Okay, Death Star. This is the dish from Death Star, and I'm confused. This doesn't look like Endor, which would have been the second Death Star. It doesn't look like Yavin. So where is this if they have this huge piece of Death Star? I'm really confused, unless it's a totally different part of one of those two planets, but I'm confused on this. It's like, how do we get Death Star wreckage? Where does that come from? How do they... what's going on here?
No one's ever really gone.
Okay, now, if you don't know who that is, that's the Emperor. And I'll finish up the trailer here. Let's laugh. And I'm going to pause it right there. So the Emperor's back. We know it's the Emperor simply because the guy who played the Emperor was at the Star Wars Con when they revealed the trailer and came out right after this moment. So it's definitely the Emperor. So what on earth was Snoke doing? Was he the Emperor's pawn, or is something else going on? How did the Emperor survive? He got tossed down that shaft, frying himself, and then the Death Star exploded, so it would seem there was no way for him to escape, and yet somehow he did, and wow, it's really got all sorts of stuff going on. And then we've got the Rise of Skywalker. Who? Okay, are we talking about Kylo Ren? Because he's Ben Solo, which is from Leia, so technically he's a Skywalker. Are we talking about him? Or are we going to finally find out that Rey is actually a Skywalker, which has been one of the ongoing theories forever? Or are we referring to somebody else entirely? I figure it's got to be Rey or Ben, one of the two. But it really has me confused and what is going on. So we've got all sorts of stuff going on with this, and I'm just like, what's happening? How's this all going to work? And I have to admit, it's really got me excited about it. I know there were a lot of people that were upset, especially with the last Star Wars movie. I liked it. It's weird. You've got a lot of Star Wars fans that are kind of going through this. Well, we want it to be new, but then they got upset because Episode 8 had several new things. Oh, we didn't want it new like that. But we want it old. Well, Episode 7, if you look at it, really, it's almost a redo of Episode 4, the original Star Wars movie. And they didn't like that. So I'm kind of looking at some of the Star Wars fans, the really ultra ones, going, what do you want? You don't even know what you want. But it's going to be interesting. I'm excited. We'll definitely be out to see this one. See, some of you were saying, yeah, the piece of the Death Star had you geeked out. Gecked out. What would be geck out? Would that make you a gecko? I don't know. Actually, Undertaker Punk. They filmed episode 8 and 9 at the same time, mostly before she passed. What I was actually reading is a lot of 9. Episode 8 was actually filmed separately. 9 is J.J. Abrams, who's come back. And what he actually did was he took footage of Leia that was on the cutting room floor with Carrie Fisher in it, and actually pulled that out and used that. So no, they actually didn't film at the same time. They have filmed them separately. So this is actually old footage that had been cut from 8 that they didn't use. And I just saw an interview with him, and he said that we managed to find just enough that'll work in the story, and he says that was the creative thing. So unfortunately, they did film this after she was passed, but it'll be neat to see that. Undertaker Punk. I think Skywalker is a term, not a bloodline name. That is a possibility. I have seen other people say that how you used to have the Jedi Order and you had the Sith, and now you're going to kind of have a new group called the Skywalkers. That is definitely a possibility too. I don't know. That's an interesting thought. It definitely is. Which Skywalker? Does it matter at this point? Yeah, it does. I mean, Rey's definitely not Kylo, so... but excited, thinking about Dolly the sheep just... In the comic books, the Emperor lives after the fall of the Death Star and starts some secret experiment project on an unknown planet. Definitely possible. Depending upon which comic books you're looking at, the one thing that's become interesting is it's hard with comics and novels and stuff to know what is going to be canon and what isn't. Keep in mind, when Disney took over Star Wars, they basically tossed out all of the old canon and got rid of it. And so now everything is new, and they're remaking a bunch of it, and we're just kind of learning as we go along. So some of it will be interesting. We don't know. But anyways, that's kind of a look at the new Star Wars trailer and my thoughts. I'm excited. I'm geeking out. And let's see, it's April, and it's not out till December. We've got a long ways to go, like 8 months, 7 to 8 months. Oh, that's going to be a long wait, but definitely going to build up anticipation. Meantime, next week we've got Avengers at least coming out, so we'll wrap that one up and I'll get something. But yes, definitely excited about this, especially on top of the announcement with the Disney Plus coming out. Yes, come November, I'm definitely subscribing to Disney Plus because you've got the new Mandalorian show, and then after a year you'll have Cassius from Rogue One. He's going to have his own show, and then Clone Wars is back on, and all sorts of other stuff. So lots of stuff coming up with that, but Episode 9, we're finally going to wrap it up. But I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Are you guys excited for this? I know that there's, again, a lot of Star Wars fans that are like, because they didn't do what they wanted them to do in the last couple movies. And I do have to admit, the last movie, there were a couple spots I was like, really? We didn't need to see him milking for green milk. But as a whole, I really enjoyed the last movie. And, you know, the other one before was great. So I'm looking forward to this. I am excited about it. I think it's going to be cool. I love seeing Lando back again. Really, in a lot of ways, right where he belongs. And really, it's a nice way to take all these old characters that never got their storylines wrapped up and to bring them in and essentially find a way to wrap them up, I think is a good thing. Yes, the new characters are the main ones, but it's nice to bring in a little bit of old and have one or two in each one and have their stories wrapped each time. So that's really good. Let's see. In the new canon, the Emperor has droids that have his knowledge installed. Whew. That would be interesting. See, I haven't paid some of the attention to some of the extra stuff, and there's good reasons for that, because it changes. So, but anyways, that's a look. Let me know. Are you excited? Are you not excited? Are you going to see it? Are you not going to see it? What are your thoughts about it coming up? I would love to hear them. Let me know what you think it is. Who is the Skywalker? Is it Rey? Is it Kylo? Is it kind of a new Jedi Order? Or is it something else entirely different? How did the Emperor survive? I could see somebody making a thought that has droids that have his knowledge installed. Okay, so how did the droids get off of Death Star? How is that all working? And, how does Snoke fit in? What is Lando doing on this? Do they rebuild the Resistance? Of course, I wish we would actually go back and figure out a really nice storyline of how on earth the Republic came back and then fell again to the to the First Order and everything. But it should be definitely exciting. So, love to hear from you. That's kind of my reaction to the new Star Wars trailers. I love to hear your thoughts, so please don't forget to share them below. And if you want to see the whole trailer uncut, there's a link below in the description as well, and you can sit there and watch it straight through and analyze everything like I probably will several more times. Thanks so much for joining me.
If you want to know whenever I have a new video out, well, hey, make sure you hit that button right there and subscribe. If you want to see another video right now, well, I've got a great one right here for you. And if you want to be like these wonderful people here and help support me financially on Patreon, well, check out that link right there and it'll take you to it. Thanks so much and God bless.